Music.
Brick by brick by brick by brick by brick.
I own 100% of Barstool Sports. The sun, the moon, the Milky Way. It is getting so close, I can taste it. We can take a bite out of it. This is exactly, and I mean exactly, why Barstool Sports has to exist. It has to.
All right, it is Monday, October 2nd. We are live here at Barstool, New York headquarters. Today's episode, as always, is brought to you by Stacker2, our presenting sponsor, with the energy shots and the gummy chews, both designed to bring you energy, both designed to give you vitamins and supplements, all at a low price, all with great taste, and all with low calories. It's loud, aggressive, and straight out of the Attitude Era. They are the OG in the energy and supplement space, with chew gummies that have more caffeine than any other gummies while still being small in size and price. The energy shots are designed to give you maximum energy while still tasting amazing. The energy, I believe, is blue raspberry. The gummies are a strawberry flavor. So either way, you get a tasty treat there. And the Stacker2 B12 energy shots provides you with 10,000% of the recommended daily value of vitamin B12. They are a bite-sized pack of energy in the gummies, and they'll help you take on whatever comes your way. So bite back with the stack and go to Stacker2 Chew Energy Gummies and B12 Energy Shots at Dollar General, where you can find all of your favorite Stacker2 products, or go to Stacker2.com.
Tommy, you need some energy?
Yeah, you need some energy?
No, I just figure you're hungover.
I'm not hungover.
You look like it.
And why are you dressed like that?
Because I dressed like this morning to go. I was waiting for people to come fix my room, and I dressed like this to go just get a coffee and a breakfast sandwich, thinking they would come, and then I didn't feel like changing.
He also pulled you a second ago. I'm just pissed in his pants.
We're also streaming the Giants tonight, and I like to be comfortable for that. I don't want to be in jeans all day.
Okay.
Okay, there's a full explanation for why you look like a bag of shit.
Piss stains, that's a water stain. There might have been
There was definitely a piss stain.
Yeah?
You put it in too early.
That's why I call him Little P-Boy Tommy.
Nobody calls me that. Seriously, don't call me that. Nobody's ever called me that. I don't even know why. I seriously don't know why you would say that.
That's your nickname, dude.
I don't even get why you would say that.
What do we got today? We're kicking off the week. Congratulations to Nate. It's his 10-year anniversary.
Happy Nate
I want
Week.
everybody to know that.
Happy Nate Week.
Happy Nate Week. We're going to spend this episode going year by year.
Yeah, we're Happy Nate Week.
Yes. We're going to year by year your highlights, Nate.
I was thinking every day this week we just do a 2-year period.
Yeah, maybe that's it. It'll be Nate Week. Yeah, two.
We cover two and a half years every day.
Dude, that email, honestly, that email from Dave was insane.
Dude,
I've never seen him so loquacious in my life.
Not only, but it actually fits perfectly because, and if you're taking note at home, Nate on Barstool Radio once again.
Oh, you're talking about me and I'm on the show.
Fair point.
Wait, where did you tweet it?
The email, yeah.
Where is it?
Yeah, I sent Dave an email at 11:35 at night on a Saturday, and then he replied at 11:59 saying he's only replied to 10 emails out of thousands ever.
Yeah, so it's very long-winded, so that's surprising. But it's also this was the beginning. This is the villain origin story where Dave started feeling himself, because this is like
Why?
When he was like, you should be impressed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he goes, after reading it, I think it could work, which is a huge compliment to you, because we get thousands of resumes and blog samples, and I've probably said that less than 10 times. Like, yeah, okay.
I actually, when I read it, I didn't read it like that. Now that I hear it.
The full is very impressed with the blog. Is it Baltimore or DC, or is that the same thing, or is it both? Yes. I got confused. All the while, huge spaces in between all the sentences, as always. What are your salary requirements? It's a full-time gig, right? Obviously, I'm interested. After reading it, I think it could work, which is a huge compliment to you, because we get thousands of resumes and blog samples, and I've probably said that less than 10 times. That feels a little bit.
I didn't read it that way, but
I thought of it as like, I was like, wow, Dave's being like really, really.
Yeah,
really
I thought it was like just a real hype up.
Yeah. But I think that is what confuses me. I think that's like, you need to know how big we are.
Yeah, I guess, but I'm also, I gotta address it. It's really bothered me. I don't know if I used the word loquacious right.
That's fine.
A lot of words.
Okay.
It was.
Yeah.
It was just.
Yeah, but I meant more complimentary.
Then
you did
it
not.
was a different time back then. Like
it was a lot of words, but they were
he
complimentary.
hadn't hired anybody.
Effusive, if you will.
Effusive, yeah.
I don't think he had hired anybody. Did it go Chicago first or Philly first? I can't remember. But
It went New York, Philly, you, Chicago, Barstool, you, Chicago. No, you, Chicago.
Barstool, Chicago,
Yeah.
Philly. I don't know. So, but it was like a
I think
major
Philly was after New
deal
York.
in 2013 to get a job at Bar. Like it's not like he was just like hiring people. It was
No,
like
no.
2 years since the last.
I literally got beat up.
Why?
My friend, like he had also applied. He sucker punched me in the stomach.
Because you got it over him?
Yeah,
Get a
like,
job.
and it was like joking, but he was pretty serious too.
How many people do you think
Punched
were
you in the
applying
stomach?
back then?
Yeah.
Like, obviously not as
But so
many as-
blogging was big at the time. Like there was no TikTok, there was no real social media like
Right.
influencers or anything. It was like you were a blogger and people. There were many blogs on the internet. They just
It was all. It was,
not many
it was
were
a lot
good.
Of, like genres of. It was like
Yeah.
music bloggers.
Yeah.
And we were like funny / smut bloggers. There was sports blogs. But yeah, it was like instead of having a TikTok page or an Instagram page,
had a
you had a
blog.
blog.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of bloggers. I don't know if there was a lot of like funny.
He was
bloggers.
just so picky. Like he was so incredibly picky about who he
What
hired.
was the blog you sent about?
to be I had been doing it for a few months while lying to my parents about applying for real jobs. I would go to Panera Bread and use their free Wi-Fi, and I would just like
Go sit there all day.
I would just sit there all day and do blogs. And then so I'm sitting on my childhood bedroom floor. So this is after I moved back from England when I tried to be a professional poker player and didn't really do well because I'm
So that's a very under talked about thing.
Yes.
In
Yeah.
Manchester, England.
Yeah.
I'm a poker player.
yeah.
Just learning that right now.
That's a story
I knew you were
older
doing
than time.
True,
Yeah.
True Nate heads know that.
Nateaholics. So I'm sitting on my childhood bedroom floor, like my twin size bed that I'm sleeping in after moving back from Manchester.
Wait,
and
why is that a big deal? Poker is a big deal in London or something?
well, it became illegal in the United States to play online.
Got it,
So I had to
got
move to England to pursue my dreams. And so I just start doing this blog while lying to my parents and going to Panera every day. And I see Dave tweet at like 11:30 at night. I was like, about to kill myself because I have no money, I have no job. I already swore off ever getting a real job ever again because I did that for 8 months and I hated it. So I sent him links to my best blogs, and then he emailed me back like 20 minutes later. And so it was on WordPress, and you could see on WordPress when like someone clicked it or was reading it. And since it was like not a real blog, it went from like 1 to 2 and then like 2 to 3. And it turns out he had sent it to you and Big Cat, and you guys were reading it. And then he hired me the next morning, and then I started
You had some sort of standout shit.
the
that-
Pogs blog.
Yeah, what was it?
It was just I went through my Pog collection and just like made funny jokes about
That was back when, like, now it's almost like, I forget. Nostalgia still plays because there's just new people coming up on the internet who haven't, like, read a blog about that or watched a video about that. But back then it was, like, the first time that was being done.
Yeah.
So it was like, there were no blogs about Pogs or Beanie Babies or, the shit you grew up with. So when you read it, you were like, this is the first time it's happening. It's a big deal. Now it's like, it still applies, but it was, cutting edge back then.
Another funny story. I didn't get paid my first like 2 or 3 weeks because
Well,
Dave
company, brother.
Dave didn't send me paperwork, and I was too scared to ask him to pay me, so I just worked for free from the dining room table at my parents' house.
I mean, everybody knows the K Marco story where he just wrote K Marco on a fucking envelope. He didn't get the address right, he didn't get the name right, he just wrote K Marco.
When you started the blog, was it the intention of this will get me hired at Barstool, or was it just like, I just want to start a blog?
More or less, yeah. So I was gonna apply, but this was when you could make what I figured was like a job with blogging the same way people do with TikTok now. And I was gonna make like koozies and go to like tailgates and like hand out koozies for my website. I was gonna like try to get local advertisers.
That's
I was
hard, bro.
I was gonna make it like a thing, and then I was like, all right, well, I have to throw this Hail Mary to Dave, see if
Were you getting any bites on that? That's hard.
I hadn't done it yet when
Yeah,
I sent the email
yeah.
to Dave. I was like, either Dave's gonna hire me or I'm gonna do this myself, one way or the other.
Yeah.
And Dave hired me because one of the best 10 he's ever seen.
One of the best 10, that's right.
Dude, I remember I did not get an email because I just like I was planning to be an intern, so I met him in person. His comment to me was very different than yours.
Well, he
His was
didn't start liking you till like last week.
it was I don't know. The first lady thinks it's good, so I guess.
Hey, you and Gaz, baby. You and Gaz.
And then didn't give me the job. But he's like, I don't know. I don't really get it, but the first lady likes it.
So it's funny. It's just funny seeing that now, knowing the dog and Dave relationship. That like at one point it was like
Dave and the
Started
dog,
with Dave
baby.
heaping praise on
yeah, and now he's like, you're fucking lucky I keep you alive.
I mean, I am lucky. He keeps me alive. There's
Yeah.
probably multiple times he's wanted to fire me, but still here.
Still kicking, man. 10 years for Nate.
10 years.
10 years.
It's wild.
We also have to extend congratulations to Dave.
Oh, fuck that.
For
Fuck.
buying a $42 million
I couldn't work for
mansion.
3 straight hours on Friday because I was so angry.
That is,
I'm actually surprised. I'm very surprised that's the most expensive house in Massachusetts history.
Dude, it's Massachusetts.
Yeah, but like
say, nobody wants to go there.
Martha's Vineyard, Nantucket, Boston.
Yeah.
I know, but 42, like you're talking tens of millions is usually like Malibu type.
That's
shit.
what I was saying. I was like, I don't think Kardashians spend that
Dave's
money.
other houses have
Yeah.
poisoned my brain where like I just think, but I guess maybe it's New York that's poisoned it. Where, like I think like I hear like New York penthouses go or like New York apartments going for like
$100
$120 million.
Yeah, I mean, Nantucket's also more about the privacy, right? It's not even.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure the property and the house is awesome, but I think it's more about
And
the
his
exclusivity.
text to you, I didn't even know I had an underground
Dude,
tunnel.
that is so-
This cocksucker, man. I swear to
That
God.
is so. I think it was Saturday. Like the news, if you will, comes out. Somebody tweets, Dave Portnoy just bought a. I remember him saying we were talking about the remaining pen stock, and he was talking about. He was like, I need it. I need it.
This
for-
is the week. You'll get equity. 10 years.
Maybe today's the day.
Yeah, go refresh my Bank of America. Dave wakes up this morning like, oh, I've been meaning to give Barstool Nate equity.
Wait, Nate doesn't have equity? It's one of the 10 best blogs I had ever read.
He said something like, I need that to close on the house, and I was like, what? I mean, what are you like blowing through your money? What do you mean you need money, like to get a house? And then I was like, oh, I see now. I didn't know it was gonna be a $40 million house.
That's so much money.
But yeah, like the guy tweeting it out lists like it's 1.2 acres and it's on this part of the land and it's got this many bedrooms and bathrooms and an underground tunnel that connects it to the guest house. And so I texted Dave and he said, I gotta be honest, I don't even know about these underground tunnels, which is like,
What an asshole.
I mean,
It's so good because I was texting Tommy at the same time. Tommy's apartment is flooding to death.
Yeah.
And then the news breaks that Dave bought a $42 million house. Tommy did a very funny blog comparing his apartment.
that.
Did that video go viral like on TikTok?
Yeah,
It had to have.
It has a lot of views on TikTok. It's now hit a part of TikTok too where clearly people do not know me or even Dave, and people are just commenting like, you ungrateful piece of shit. Like, Dave worked hard to like become a leader of a company. Like, if you work harder, you could buy a house like that one day too. It's like, do you understand I suck this guy's dick more than anyone? This is not like, oh, he doesn't deserve that house.
It was funny though, that clip.
I watched it thinking it was going to go viral the other way, that people were going to be like eat the rich.
I mean, there was some of that, but like the people like, I mean, that like people who know Barstool were like, haha. People who like did not were like, why is this punk complaining? Like, or it's also a lot of like, which I hate giving ammo to the people who hate New York City, where it's like, why would you ever live in that third world country? It's like, I'd still rather live in a flooded apartment than fucking middle of nowhere, Iowa, where like I go to Ruby Tuesdays for a fucking big night out.
You had some stank in your voice on that one. Ruby Tuesdays caught a straight.
I was just the first one that came to my mind. No offense.
How was your
But
apartment?
you said Iowa? Whatever.
I said Iowa. It's still not fixed,
simple.
but the leak has stopped. But there's still a hole in my ceiling. I'm afraid of roaches.
I was terrified to come home yesterday. I thought for sure I didn't close windows. I was like, my apartment's going to be fucked.
Bro, I don't know if it's climate change or what, but something's going on, bro. It's fucking, it is not the same fucking New York City.
Well, I now have a nightmare situation going on with my downstairs neighbor, where they wrote me a note. So Wednesday night I got home, I moved my bed around because of that. So I moved my bed around a little noise at like 11:30, fine. I have warped wood in the floor. So the next day, my landlord came, or the super, his solution was to stomp up and down on the wood a few times.
As supers do.
They left a note and were like, can you stop stomping around during the weekday? Like, it's a little bit loud. It's like, you had to deal with maybe 4 loud noises. 4 loud noises and like we lived there for 4 months. Like, it was like 4 times. Clearly something's going on. So I wrote them a long note back.
You
And
did?
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
With the worst handwriting you'll
And
ever see.
I was like, well, here's everything I'm going through, right? And I listed all the issues, and I was like, sorry about a little bit of noise, though.
I didn't think you'd do that. I would never.
Oh,
write it.
I
thought-
wrote it back within like 20 minutes. I was so angry. And
I
then,
saw the note. I thought they found out about you.
well, no. So then I posted that video. I talked about it. They must have somehow seen that it was me, and they responded. They sent the note back the next day. Said, "You're welcome for the content," with a phone number. I thought it was clearly girl handwriting. I thought it was their phone number. So I was like, all right, rizzed them up. Then I typed the number in my phone to try to like search it. It was my fucking Super's number.
No, was it really?
Yes. Like so passive aggressive, as if we hadn't tried to contact the Super.
No, I thought for sure that was their number.
No,
That's
like their
hilarious.
Super's number. And then that night I get a DM from this guy on Instagram who's like, hey, my girlfriend's the one that like wrote you the note. Like, let's meet up for a drink and like you two can hash it out.
You have to move immediately. Not because there's a hole in your ceiling, because now your neighbors.
Yeah, now anytime there's a little bit of noise, they're gonna be like, oh, there's Tommy
Swope.
stomping around.
No, but now you have a
upstairs.
free pass. Don't say anything again.
Yeah, I hope not. I mean, yeah, it's like
I
there
think
might be a
now
little
it'll
bit more
be-
noise when they fix the floor, fix the leak or something. But
I remember when
not stomping around.
It was probably like 2013-ish. I had an apartment with my buddies, and we were up one night until like 7:30 in the morning, just like beer pong and just stomping around, ping pong balls running around. It was but it was just us. Like it wasn't a party. It was just like we just four dudes. I don't know what we were thinking. I wake up the next day like violently hungover. The apartment stinks. It was one of those like, you know, when you're like 25, like I'm never drinking again, before you drink like, you know, the next day. But our neighbors wrote us a note, and I blogged it on the site, and then it turned into like, oh, it's okay, don't worry. It was like
they saw it?
Yeah, and then you like put it all together.
I don't know if that's the vibe I get from these.
How
like,
old are they?
I think around my age.
I mean, I think complaining about, unless it's something egregious every single night.
Yeah, it was
Like
literally
if
four
there's
noises.
noise, like sometimes.
It was late.
Ooh,
It
fuck.
was 11:30 one night, and then it was like 11 a.m. the next day, and I don't know if there were any other noises. Like I feel like that has to be going on for a week or more of
But
consistent
you live in the West.
stomping.
You live in a very popular part of New York
Right.
City. Like, it's always loud.
I thought for months when I first moved into the apartment I live in now that it was kind of a joke, but also like I was kind of serious. Like I thought my neighbor was killing people upstairs, because it partly due to the fact that I was watching Dahmer at the time. But like there would always be like saw noises and shit like that, and I was like, he's just chopping up bodies. And like I was like a small sliver of me thought for real, and never did I consider doing anything about it. Turns out I've gotten to know him now. He's a great guy. He's an artist. He's in the Brazilian embassy right now. If you'd like to go see him, but
So he was just making art up
he's
there?
making like sculptures or some shit. I don't know what the fuck. he was
Perfect
doing.
cover.
My
While
upstairs
he
neighbor
jumps
stomps around. It's from like 1 a.m. to 2:30 a.m. every single night. I just assume he or she works like the night shift, comes home, and
That's the thing. It's like, I don't know. What if they just have a different life than
It's
you?
just-
Shut the
Yeah.
fuck up.
like I've thought about, hey, you know, people sleep during this hour, but like it's every single day, so I assume it's just different schedules.
It's like-
and it just is.
I don't know.
I choose,
You live in a public building.
yeah,
like,
I choose to live there, and
Yeah.
it is what it is.
You know,
An important lesson on perspective for these two girls. You know, to think that like a little bit of noise is the worst problem that anyone could be dealing with. It's like, no, honey, my apartment's underwater.
Dave
one
didn't
time
know we
worse.
had tunnels, bro.
Do you want to
Think about it
switch? Yeah.
When I first lived here, I had like my toilet was in my bedroom, and it was like in a closet in my bedroom.
What in the world?
It was I lived on the Upper East Side, like 72nd and Lex or something like that, and the toilet was in a closet in my bedroom, and then like the shower and everything was in a completely different room. And there was one day I was going to Newport for the weekend, and I left the apartment and I took a piss, I flushed it, walked out, and that was it. And 3 days later, I woke up literally. I was on a star. I think it was a starfish rug under a kitchen table, to my phone ringing for like the 10th time, and I answered as my landlord, and he's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, I don't know what I'm doing right now. I literally don't know where I am right now. And he's like, "Turn the water off." I was like, "What are you talking about?" And the toilet had been running for 3 days and ruined all 3 apartments below my
Oh
thing.
my God.
And unbeknownst to me, because I was 21, I didn't think anything. I hadn't gotten insurance or anything like that, but my dad had gotten it for me. Wow. And it was going to cost me like the guy's like, you owe me hundreds of thousands of dollars. Like you destroyed the apartments below you. And the greatest cover I can give to insurance of all time, I made one phone call and the insurance company was like, I got it. We got it. Right. And I never heard about it ever again.
The whole reason I live at my current place, if you guys remember, is I live next.
Your Nate heads too.
Yeah, I live next door to a meth head, and she, her parents are like bazillionaires. They supplemented her life, and she looked like a character out of Breaking Bad, like the teeth, the face, all of it. And she had animals that she let piss and shit in the hallway. And like she would just do meth in her apartment and made my apartment smell like meth.
What's meth smell like?
Like piss. It's not great. And
Well, that was probably just the animals, no?
but it was a combination of both. No, it's very distinct. It's a very distinct smell. True meth heads know. So that's the whole reason I had to move, and I got in this huge fight with like the landlord. He was threatening to sue me. I was yelling at him, threatening to sue him. It was a whole big thing. He never did. He ended up actually selling the condo. Like he owned it. He ended up selling it, like just unbeknownst to the person who bought it for $1 million something that they now just live next to a meth head. It was awful.
So wait, because her parents are paying for
Her parents just paid rent, and she didn't have a job. She just
Did math, living the dream.
yeah. It was,
Bro, I mean it's like you live in a building where, I guess that's a little different because people usually there's a homeowner's board or whatever.
They couldn't
like,
do anything because her
yeah.
parents owned it, so they couldn't evict her.
Right.
It's the whole system's fucked, but
Still the greatest city in the world, baby.
hell yeah.
Concrete jungle.
Sandwich at any hour of the day.
Dude,
Bodegas.
I love how that's always like the stick.
Yeah. You ever get a bacon, egg, and cheese at a bodega?
5 times a year, you have a weird craving, and you can fulfill it.
Yeah.
That's it.
The water and the bagels.
bro, the flooding this time around was fucking
Crazy.
Biblical.
crazy.
Because we
That
had
was-
trash all over
Like
the
it's one
fucking
thing.
street.
It's one thing if you're near water or if you're like underground. It's just like the regular streets.
Yeah.
How does the regular streets get up to your knees? That means there just has to be water fucking everywhere.
It's the trash clogs the sewers because the libs are running the city into the ground.
We don't collect the trash.
And exactly, and then it just like clogs the streets. Or
it
clogs
was
the streets.
Manhole covers were on fire.
Yeah.
You see the one with the swirl? It was just like, oh, the city's just gonna be
When you got
swallowed
a Pepsi
up.
bottle made the tornado.
Yeah, that was.
I mean, it was like a historic amount of rain. I
was
truly
kinda
thought it
jealous I
was
Oh,
wasn't
never
here.
going to stop.
It was like 1 to 2 inches an hour for like hours on
2
end.
weeks. I walked out Saturday and I literally had forgot what it was like when it wasn't raining.
Yeah,
it was just
it
like
is
a nice clear day. I was like, oh, that's what it's like sometimes.
Meanwhile, Dave's tweeting out pictures of the view from his new place, which Dave got very sentimental about. He's always, I think, been sentimental about Nantucket.
Well, Dave thinks he's dying.
Dave is convinced that he's like 80.
Yeah.
Dave.
It's been such a flip where we used to make fun of him for being the old guy, and now
Yeah.
it's like, dude, you're not old.
Well, I've been calling him like 50 for like 10 years, so now I'm like, wait, he's only 45.
Yeah.
He has some weird like sense of mortality going on that makes him think it's all ending soon.
He's getting fat again too, which is interesting.
It'd be awful for all of us.
What are you laughing at?
Nothing, dude. I like how sometimes Nate goes home and he's like, why does Dave?
Yeah, why?
No, he tweeted a picture of himself. He goes, "I'm getting fat again."
No, but that's like he can say it, you know?
He's getting fat again. It's just objectively he's getting fat again.
Right.
I'm not like making that up out of the blue.
Crazy you don't have equity.
It is. No. Fuck off. It's great. Like a little. Just so I don't have to live next to a meth head. Just a little tiny bit. It's fine. 10 more years. Okay. Just keep grinding those blogs like it's 2013, mate. You can do it.
I mean, it's not that crazy.
Yeah, a little bit.
Like, I mean,
I don't think I, like,
would all like
deserve
the. Do you think it's crazy that the Philly guys don't have it?
No, I'm saying, like, I don't think, like, oh, Barstool wouldn't be Barstool if fucking Barstool Nate wasn't here. I just think, just flick me a little nickel, Just employee 9.
Yeah. He has more of an argument. Than
Oh, he is way bigger.
Yeah. I was
Oh,
gonna say,
John.
to be on this couch and complaining. is a
My
little bit
brains would have
much.
been splattered out of my brain a long time ago if I was John Feitelberg. A long time ago. So long.
fucking
I don't know
crazy.
how you do it. The Saturdays
Just wake up and go to work, brother.
SAF.
You put out some sad boy season hoodies.
Call it a day. The 42 million. I think one of you just said, like, I think you said the Kardashians don't buy that. Like, that is like
expensive.
That's expensive.
Yeah.
Expensive.
That is
1.6 acre, actually, I didn't know what the size, that's not that big.
No. Yeah, that is
have
just
no
about location.
concept.
When
How big
people
an
say
acre is,
acre,
to be
they
honest.
think monstrous.
Well, like
An acre is not that big.
no, I mean, like if in New York it's big. If you're like
Yeah.
around here, it's
Yeah.
huge.
You just have the West Village.
Yeah, I mean, like it. You know, when I was trying to find a house, like everything was like a quarter of an acre. It was like a normal house, which is like a backyard,
Right.
like a quarter acre.
How big's your plot?
I do have a bigger spot, but like it was a big deal. Like I got 1.6, and it was like never in my wildest dreams that I think I was gonna get even a acre. And this was like old people who were just wanting to sell it and get rid of it, and it was like cheap and all that shit. But I think usually if someone's buying a $40 million mansion, it's
So an acre is about the size of a football field, 43,560 square feet, and a football field is 48,000 square feet.
An acre's about the size of a football field?
Yeah,
That's bigger than I thought.
it's pretty. Yeah, it's substantial. Yeah.
It's not, like, I think you hear
it
acre.
feels it doesn't. I don't know though. That doesn't quite translate because I feel like if I just like dropped a fucking football field in my backyard, it would be like
But you gotta put a house on it.
yeah, like
Well, you'd have to.
But still.
stretch it out. Yeah.
yeah. I'm just saying it doesn't like totally translate. But that's more like it's on the water. It's
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think
it's
it's
a place
more
in the world.
location price
Yeah.
than
Yeah.
size.
I mean, and also it is still a good plot of land. It's not like he's on like a little.
yeah.
It's a nice house, big land, but it's like the
An
most
underground tunnel.
It's probably the most.
Crazy. Gazzy Guest House. That was a good hashtag.
Yeah, that's fucking great. You think that something like Nantucket is maybe the most exclusive place in America? Because I mean, it's like a literal island. That you
I
can't
don't
get
know.
off.
I was never a Nantucket person. I
That's
think.
not the question.
Yeah, no, but like I'm saying, like I don't really go there that often.
It's Martha's Vineyard versus the Nantucket. Is that what it is?
Yeah.
Or the
What about
Cape?
Cape Cod.
Cape,
that's a-
I in my life I like have I used to play hockey on the Cape when I was a kid, but like I never like partied on the Cape. I would go to Newport.
My perception of Martha's Vineyard is through Dave, and I think it's like trash. And then
Yeah.
I found out that like Peter Chernin lives there.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
oh, okay. Wait a minute.
Is
Like,
Martha's Vineyard also an island?
I think like the Martha's
Yeah,
Vineyard's an island.
yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
But like I think the if I had to like describe the two, where like Nantucket's like you want to be seen, Martha's Vineyard you don't want to be seen. Like
Oh, I thought it was the opposite.
no, I think like your weird artsy aunt hangs out on Martha's Vineyard. Gaz hangs out on Nantucket.
Yeah. I was thinking about that. Like, I'm sure there's got to be some old money people who do not like this, right?
Well,
like that.
remember he had the whole article written about him,
Yeah,
and then
people are
like
trying to
the
keep him out of
Nantucket
Nantucket.
proper people complained about the magazine, Nantucket magazine, being like, we don't claim him, and now he just like owns Nantucket.
I mean,
I will say that guy wins like everything. It's just
it's
pretty
the
sick.
deal with the devil, bro. It never stops. That's got to be the nicest house in Nantucket, right? Are there multiple of those? 40 fucking million.
If you base it
I
off
would have thought 40 million is reserved for like New York penthouses, Malibu, like beachfront property, like maybe that's it.
I think maybe just because there's so few available of that in
Yeah.
Nantucket.
Yeah.
Where it's just like supply.
it was never even listed. That was a cool part. It was like they just like called Dave up, like, hey, we got this house. Do you
That's
want
dope.
it?
That's even cooler.
That's
than
how you
the
know
houses.
yeah. Pretty sick.
I mean, I'm sure there are people who don't like it, but they're gonna die, and then he'll just be like king of Nantucket.
That's like his bathing suit story where he's like, it was like a $200 bathing suit and he couldn't put it back.
No, that wasn't Nantucket.
No, I'm saying they called him and they're like, do you want this house? He's like, I can't say no.
Oh,
Like,
yeah, that is
I
true
want the
too.
house.
That is true. Like maybe he didn't want to spend that much. 'Cause, like, you know, it's like they're gambling. Like you have to put it in a bet if somebody tells you. If I know that house is available, I have to buy it. Yeah, but that whole. I think you said it to me in the text and then also in the tweets. Like I'll die in this house. I'm like, you got a long time. Like you can't really say that. Like maybe not. I don't know. A lot could happen in like 40 fucking years. You know, it's not like this is just your retirement home. I mean, I guess it will be.
Well, he's supposed to
But,
do
like-
Florida for half the year too. I think.
Got Montauk too.
He has Montauk.
Does Nantucket have tax? Like, what are the taxes?
I mean, I'm sure it's somewhere between New York and Florida.
yeah.
Yes.
I figured he was just done with New York and now he didn't have to do the jumping around.
Happy
Yeah, I
for
don't
him
know.
though. Like it is sick. Be like, I own the most expensive house in the entire state.
I mean,
How's that real?
42 million is like.
So much money.
So if you're gonna spend any on anything, it might as well be like a house. At the very least,
Well,
you have just somewhere to live.
I can't decide whether like.
that is
That is
what
what
a
a house is.
This is so much about location, and I think he loves that it's like private. He talks about how he sees the
I feel like you remember he said the
come and
last
go.
house he had there,
But-
people found, like stoolies found out where it was, and they would come into his yard and stuff.
Yeah, so I think he values the privacy, but I can't decide whether for 42 million I would want privacy or would I want size? Would I want? The people who own like compounds.
Makes no sense.
I don't get that at all.
Makes no sense. It's
Like
big.
when 50 Cent had a house that had 50 bathrooms. It was like,
Well, 50
what
cent.
the fuck? Yeah, I mean that was
Well,
probably.
Dave even said like he left his coffee cup down the hall, and he's like, I can't even walk back down
Yeah.
the hall to get my coffee
Dude,
cup.
like there's got to be
Houses are too big, yeah.
entire wings that you don't even.
and the cost to maintain is insane.
Yeah,
And like
yeah.
heating, especially in Miami, the air conditioning bill must be outrageous. I mean, buy more Stacker2, my heavens.
10,000% of your daily value. I mean that is 40 is.
That's why I'll never own a mansion. They're just simply too big for me.
That's why I'll stay in my leaking 700 square foot apartment. Thank you very much.
Maintaining it is. People warn me about. Even if you have like a regular house, like people are like, oh, maintaining is a bitch, and I was like, how hard can it be? And it's like, no, it shit sucks.
You have a house
It
guy
fucking
yet?
sucks. What?
You have a house person yet to just keep it tidy?
No. But like.
It's a big house.
Yeah, but like
No.
I wish I did. It's like
Phrasing
it
there
does-
was.
A house person to keep it tidy?
Yeah, that. No, I don't have a house person.
I think that's a fairly accurate.
Maybe like a cleaning lady or something next time. Not
misogynist.
a house person. All right, let's go over a few things. It's from last week, but I do. I want your opinion on this Dante thing, and Dante was flabbergasted. So if he wants to call in, he can. Dante, last week when you were gone, I couldn't believe what was going on. I couldn't believe the reaction here, and I think I'm in the minority. I don't know. Dante texted Dave. Gaz said, hey, why don't you text Dave? They were drunk. He texted him, you need to write a blog listing who was and was not at Pizza Fest. Rattle some cages. And they started fucking with Rico for not being there.
I did see this.
And Rico, and so we were debating, like, everybody was like, it was just a joke. It was just funny that Dante was texting Dave telling him to take note of who was and was at an event. What do you think?
Not funny at all.
Not funny at all. Not funny at fucking all.
Dante
Bro,
wasn't being funny. Dante wasn't joking around. Dante was covering his ass.
Totally.
For sure.
Totally.
That-
And then, bro, I said this Thursday, whatever day. The internet, people here, they were looking at me like I was crazy. And then I was like, you know what it was is these fucking assholes went to the thing. They were on the list.
Let me
So-
be clear, that's a huge part of it. That's about 90% of it for me, is that if that blog gets written, Tommy's in the good column. But also, I mean, agree, total scumbag, dickhead move to like
But you
text
guys
Dave.
weren't saying that.
No. I'm saying in general, to text it, like if it was a Friday afternoon at the office, texting Dave being like, write a blog about who's here, who's not, dickhead, scumbag move. Certain things, unbelievably rat move. Again, maybe it was different because I was there. I just got the vibe that when I saw Dave there,
Yes.
and I know he did not care. Like he was very clear he wasn't going to care who wasn't there. He
Now-
was just like, oh, that's nice, you showed up. Like, and so maybe Dante got the same vibe. So that's why I just thought when Dante texted him that night, I just figured it was never actually. I mean, I wasn't there, but I figured it was never actually going to lead to Dave being like, fuck these people who didn't come, and it didn't. It only led to Dave fucking with Rico.
Dave is happy these days, other than his sense of mortality. I think he's also reasonable and knows he can't make people come to a optional event on a Saturday.
Yeah.
But also, he's Dave, and he might just be like, fuck this. You guys don't care about this company. You know what I mean? Like, he just flips that switch sometimes. And so then Dante texted me.
Exactly why I went.
What?
That's why I went.
Yeah, right. Dante texted me after. So the one thing that Dave did do is on Pick'em, he added in at the end, I can't believe Bosco didn't go. Dave made that part up to fuck with Rico.
I don't know that.
No, I saw the text.
Oh, you did?
I saw the text.
Oh,
But
okay.
But
That's
I
a
also
little
said that
different.
makes it worse. Because if I sent a text being like, you should fuck with Rico, there is an element of like, that you guys do that for content. By not including that, now it's just open season for everybody and anybody who had knock on to get fucked with. Dante texted me after that show being like, I can't believe you thought that was real. And I was like, it's real. It fucking happened. Like, that part of the text wasn't real, but you sent that text. And then there was a video of Rico calling him on speakerphone, and Dante was like, how bad is it, man? Like, very clearly, like, trying to laugh and be like, did I fuck up? And then, but it was all just a joke. Oh, just jokes here, as if things have not spiraled out of control and Dave has not flipped out over much less in the past.
Dante is actually, we talked about it on the show with Gaz when him and Dave had, like, that's when Dante became dead to me.
Yeah.
Dante has been on a 10-year quest to give himself CPR with Dave. And that's all. Whoever he has to throw under the bus to get
He'll do it. But that's what's crazy is that I said you got gassed, and maybe you are the only other person who has had more time with Gaz than Dante. So you know you're getting gassed.
Yeah.
And you also infamously have the Gronk bus thing where he's like, that was taken out of context, that wasn't real. Now you said that and Dave hates me. It's like you were a victim of this. And now you're perpetrating the same thing on innocent people.
Dante is
Dante'd
the
rather
sole perpetrator of the vicious cycle.
Yeah.
Where Dante will keep that going for eternity.
I thought he would be the breaker of change, but
he got
is
it.
no Khalid.
He got into it with me last night, and I was in the right. Like, him and Big T both did the same blog. Big T started it before Dante. Big T also went to Tennessee. It was about that South Carolina fan at the Tennessee game. And Dante's like, oh, so I don't get to do this blog, blah, 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 blah. I submitted it before Big T even started
Here's
it.
the deal here. You're adding so much tone to this.
And no, you can read the text. And
Yeah, but I can read the text. It's still text.
Big T had started it before Dante started it. It was a Tennessee blog.
why don't you publish both?
Just because, like,
Does it harm the...
there's no reason to publish two of the exact. It's just like a funny fat guy picture. But it's only when I'm in the wrong that it becomes like this huge big thing. And then, like,
So the rule is whoever starts it, not whoever finishes it?
I mean, yeah. Plus, like, Big T's the Tennessee guy,
Yeah.
so it just made sense. And then
It is his name.
yeah,
Tennessee.
No, that part definitely matters. But like if I write a blog faster than you write a blog, but you know what I mean?
I mean, I'll take whichever one's better. But
Well, yeah, but I also think that you have, you know.
I have no bias.
I didn't say it. I didn't say it.
You still-
I didn't say it.
Bias? Were you gonna say bias?
I didn't say it, dude. I was going to say
during Nate Week, right?
I was going to say a
After during
system.
Nate Week.
A system is what I was going to say.
Hashtag Nate Week.
Yeah. Hashtag Nate.
Did wrote the dozen questions this morning.
I saw
Except
that.
for the movie one. I did not write the movie one.
I realized that you didn't do that. You
didn't-
loved it.
No. He asked me for a movie, and he wrote that question. So I did not write the movie.
After the music one, it became very clear to me. I went back and was like, oh, Nate wrote this whole fucking thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was the only reason I got the NBA
Oh, I
question.
didn't
Yep. Me too. Me too. By the way, that's a terrible pick. Holy shit.
John Vesley?
That doesn't get talked about enough.
Yeah, it
What
was-
the fuck is that?
It is this 7-foot Euro who
Number 6 overall?
yeah.
That is bad.
He infamously or famously made out with his like smoking hot girlfriend, like made out after he got picked, and then he averaged 4 points a game in the NBA.
That is.
Yeah.
That's how the Wizards stay the Wizards, you know.
Very, very bad at drafting.
Very bad.
Yeah, very.
I answered the Joe Flacco one. I just wrote Delaware, in the fucking. It says before transferring to Delaware, like Joe Flacco, Delaware, moron. Anyway,
Nate Week.
Nate Week. I just the reaction on Thursday was just crazy. The amount of people.
Has that been eating away at you like all
Yes,
weekend?
yes, it has. There was enough people that were like, "You're being so soft about this," and I was like,
Well, no, okay.
cannot even fathom a fucking world where people snitching on other employees to the boss is like, okay, it's fuck everybody who felt otherwise.
I think everybody is like, yeah, big time dickhead move. Why would you ever text the boss? Blah blah blah. I also think
they weren't. They were not.
But
They were not. Everyone was like, this is a
But
joke.
I think it's because it was like Friday afternoon. Like, I just don't have energy to be angry about this.
Dante
right
and
now.
Dave don't have like if Dan texted him that.
It
it's
went
different.
totally unanswered. Like Dave wasn't like, haha, good idea. Just-
Yeah.
Yeah, that is also
Don't
like
care.
Dave is less likely though to get angry from a Dante. Like if you texted him that, like he might put more merit into it. Dante
No,
he might
I
just
think-
be like, that's just.
I think it's just whatever
Dante barking.
triggers his brain in the moment.
I think like if it was Dan or someone like where it's like we have this relationship where we joke around with people, and we like you and I team up and
Yeah,
joke around.
that's actually how it kind of started on Pick'em. It was Dave and Dan.
That's what I
versus
mean.
Rico.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like, but like Dante
does not.
Doesn't don't have I mean Dante, we've said on the show a million times. He's a crazy person.
I've been
John has
loving your
decided.
replies to him.
John's
Yeah.
John's
I'm-
new like new act in life is being a Dante reply guy.
I'm just gonna be Dante.
Oh my God, the panda tweet.
Wait, I don't know if I saw the panda one.
Oh my God.
I saw the Chinese one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it.
Oh,
China's
Oh,
taking
they want
back
their panda? Well, we'll
Yeah.
take our military secrets back.
Like, and Dante saw my reply.
Let me just read it. China taking their pandas back. So does that mean we can take back all of our military and technology trade secrets they've been stealing from us for decades and decades now? Psychopath.
And
then John. Yeah, that's exactly what it means.
That is exactly.
Brother,
and like
that is exactly what it
Dante definitely saw that and was like,
Hell
Feits
yeah.
gets it.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
What was the other one you just wrote the crying emojis?
He just tweeted a meme of dogs sitting in the United Nations and said, finally politicians I can get behind. I just see a bunch of laughing laughing.
Dante would kill on Facebook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He posted all this.
He probably does.
Oh,
He probably does.
I've said that to Dante to him before, where I was like, you are like the stereotype of like the crazy uncle on Facebook.
Yep.
You're just that on Twitter and also a DJ.
Tommy, you know
Right.
he,
He's like 30 years too young, and like he's just like born in the wrong era, wrong body, wrong part of town. It makes
like,
no sense.
If since I know Dante and like I know he is a good dude and like a funny guy and that with nice intentions, I like Dante. If I just knew Dante through his internet personality, I'd be like, this person's a psycho.
Hate him.
He's
Hate
the
him.
craziest person
Hate
I've ever
him.
met in my entire life.
that's what people like. I'm like, me and him get along very well. He's just crazy on the internet.
Well,
it's two different Dantes.
John also has like the Blackout Tour and all that, so he has his own thing with Dante. And when Dante got fucking sucker punched outside that restaurant, John just was cackling, laughing, like on the phone with Dante, being like, "You got you good, didn't he?" And he's like, my orbital bone is still broken, and I might not be able to see again. He's like, "Ho, buddy boy."
Classic Dante.
So he goes whenever he's like up near there. He just takes a selfie in front of it, smiling, giving a thumbs up.
Dude, when that was first happening, I was like, I think we were doing KFC Radio, and I was like, I think I'm uncomfortable right now. I don't know if I'm supposed to be joking about this.
No, but you know how I know he's on Facebook is because if you follow him on Instagram, he screenshots his Facebook status and posts it to his story on Instagram. Does very well on Facebook.
Jesus.
No, he's just very
Hilarious.
too much online, but like very nice in real life and like so different in real life than the internet.
Yeah, that's what's funny. I mean, he's actually he's always like supportive of new people and like welcoming to everybody.
He's like a
But
kind,
then-
friendly person.
Then he,
he's the man.
he gets
He's
drunk at
trusted and
Marquee.
sane
I don't think he is ever malintentioned.
Yeah.
I don't think so.
That
either.
was kind of what part of my argument was with him on Saturday too. Is I don't think that
I
text
just,
was
but like then it's
maliciously,
just
No,
like,
with certain people he will. Not
okay.
malicious.
I
just like-
think he'd rather.
he wants to be with the cool guy.
I would say he'd rather carry
He'll step
favor
on the
with
little guy to be.
Dave.
Yeah.
Fair.
Which is most of you.
I was like, wait,
Most of you rat fucks.
very
here.
fair.
Yeah.
Like I'd rather Dave like me than Tommy Smokes like. Fair
Place
enough.
is the most toxic place
Oh.
in the world.
10 years though.
10 years. This video of Max and PFT is an interesting one. I think it brings up a bigger discussion of like the rules of engagement at Barstool in these events. I think there should be a strict no physical contact rule when on live streams. I think. Oh, by the way, this is.
You can't put
wait,
Max
hang on.
in a box.
This is funny. Dante's latest Facebook post was: imagine living in the third largest city in America, in the heart of downtown, and writing complaints about the city to the city about music volume being too high, not gun violence or drugs or crime or illegal street races, but music. The one thing I'll always give NYC over Chicago, besides the pizza, is people don't move to NYC and then act shocked to be living in a metropolis, and the city gives zero fucks if they do. Illegal street races is hilarious.
I'd had to.
So yeah, that's the Dante Facebook.
There's going to be like a company meeting one day where it's like, yeah, our biggest social accounts are Jack Max, TikTok, and Dante's Facebook.
If I like, those are so funny things. Like, if I had to guess, people write letters about those things too.
Yeah.
They're just not about Dante. like I'm gonna guess that people in Chicago complain about gun violence.
Yeah, I think I've heard that once or twice.
It just
But
doesn't personally affect Dante.
That's funny.
this video was from over the weekend. The Redskins were playing the Eagles, and
Ardar.
yeah, sorry. The Commanders. That name sucks, by the way. That does suck.
It does suck.
That's a name. Who cares?
I know. Well, yes, but it sucks. And they should have just stuck with football team.
Football team.
But if they were going to change
Football team's great.
the Commanders was not it. That was not the one.
PC libs.
So the Eagles kick a overtime field goal for the win, and Max. Let's just roll the clip. I don't want to steal the thunder. I can't do it justice.
I actually haven't seen this.
Oh, it's so.
Nope. Got it. Fuck yeah! Dr. Wayne! Little, you, small! Fuck yeah!
You little and the head pat is, without being like physically violent, maybe the worst thing you could do to somebody on a live stream.
I said it's worse than when I noogied Dave.
It's right there.
Yeah, it's neck and
Listen,
neck.
no, it's not.
Because the boss is a lot worse.
Let me tell you.
But
Listen, when I saw this,
KFC's boss.
I kind of like pulled back. When Nate noogied, I gasped. Like I was like, like if you look at Dan and my reaction on the rundown, it was like, oh shit! Like shit just
What was
changed.
said right before? Like, why did you?
I can't remember. I can't remember.
I think he was.
I think I was on the
regular
rundown. I just
asshole.
walked by and just like I think that's all it really was.
I think it was maybe an argument about like I think you were saying you like won an argument with him or something like that, and you were kind of like
I don't know.
It was like debating the facts of that.
27.
Because I feel like I remember Dave like shrugging, being like, "All right, like whatever then, Nate. Like I guess you're right," and you were like, "Okay, see ya." I think he had just gotten his hair plugs or was thinking about it.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And and then I think he was it on that episode he noogied you back or later?
He
Because he noogied you till his knuckles were
I
raw.
was bleeding and he was bleeding.
But he was not going to
So
stop.
while he was nooging me, I was roasting him. I was saying like about how he was like divorced and like all this shit like to his face while he was nooging me.
Dude, that's a
week, baby.
Dude, I watched that maybe like 9 months ago. I was like, oh, what was I doing?
Bro,
Awesome.
I remember his face. Here it is.
Fuck.
Wait, can you start it again for me?
Oh, that's
Hair plug!
On
Thin skin bitch.
is selling.
Thanks for having me, Dave.
You're welcome. The Braun is selling.
On the hair plug! That was so Oh my god!
That's the rundown. The rundown's over. That was the most disrespectful thing. That was the most disrespectful thing that's ever happened to
He touched my head.
That was
gave you a noogie
He just
on your
noogied
hair plugs.
That was the most disrespectful
This is
thing
Dave
I've ever
right here
seen.
being like,
Oh
He didn't think it was a big deal at first.
no, but I think
Your guys
Look,
are.
I don't want to overreact
so
to it,
much.
but
Yes.
So much.
noogieing
Yes.
the boss's hair
And then when he
plugs
noogies
is-
you,
that is the most
when he noogied you, I remember his face being kind of like maniacal, being
yeah.
like, I cannot stop. Like, I have to do this until he like cries because I don't think he thought it was a big deal, but the reaction was like, well, now I need to like lay down law and order.
It was
Yeah.
something like he was going to do 30 seconds, but he was going to add time the more I kept talking, and I wasn't
Kept
going to
talking.
stop.
Yeah, I do commend you for that.
I just kept going with the meanest stuff I could think of, and he was bleeding, I was bleeding, and it was just like a battle over the wills.
I mean, the knuckles just raw on the fucking head.
like-
How bad did it hurt?
It hurt. I mean, it hurt real bad, dude. My skull.
you
was
ever get your skull ripped off? Like,
Yeah, but
I
I couldn't stop. I mean, like I had a hat on.
could not have felt good for either of you.
I had a hat on, and I print out a picture of Jay Hammy, and I put it under the hat. So when he took off my hat, like, dude, I was like, yeah, it was nuts.
Why don't you have equity, bro?
Impossible to say at this point.
I mean, I would say something like, you know, there is like a healthy respect, but there's not. You know what I mean?
There is. Between me and him, of course there is.
I don't think there is. I think like as like a person or something, but like I don't think he thinks about it like, oh, me and the dog like going at it with each other. You
I
know?
think he respects that I've like done this gauntlet for as long as I've done it and dealt with the shit and like gone
There it is.
through all this.
Oh man, you also had like the Brillo pad hair still. I feel like that's worse, right? To have hair. That look on his face.
Never seen him so happy.
Yeah, he was maniacal, dude. I remember being like, he's just not stopping.
It's nuts.
How long do you think it went for?
Play it.
Like a solid fuck. I mean,
2 minutes? I
yeah, I
don't
was gonna say like 2
know. Yeah.
minutes. Oh, I'm just rubbing raw.
Hurt real bad.
You kept like a straight face though. You weren't like, you know, you didn't. Did you tap out or he tapped out?
I think I stopped talking, and then he counted down from 10.
Yeah.
Yeah, good times.
Good times.
Nate Week.
Nate Week. 10 years, though.
Nate Week.
10 years.
Talking only the good
Now,
stuff.
with Max
That's the 10-year
and PF.
anniversary blog drop.
I don't know if I'm going to do it. They're so gay at this point to do.
Oh, you didn't write it? I thought you did.
No, it's just like I've already done this whole like.
10 years is worth it. You can't be
That's
doing
what
it
I
for like 8 years, but 10 is.
I don't know.
10 years is worth writing about, but I do agree that, like, you've probably already said all these things before
That's
already.
the thing, and it's like
already
I'm
written this
talk
stuff
about
down.
how like it's
Easy
like
page views.
It is. You get the top of the, you'll be at the top of the list.
millions and millions of those
Oh,
already.
shit.
One of the best 10 to ever do it.
Um,
I will say the funniest part of like 10 years is so I used to be in all like the graphics Millmore would make, like the GIFs and stuff, and then Dave just kept hiring like funnier, better personalities, and I slowly like
say again, you used to make the graphics?
yeah, like when there was only
used to be
8
in them.
when there was only
In them,
in
okay.
them when there was only like 8 of us,
Got it.
and then like Dave kept hiring funnier people, and slowly like I stopped being like involved.
Dude,
in all
there
the
is
graphics.
absolutely. What was the thing? I think it was recently. Maybe it was the repurchase. And
I got back in
the
it,
Wolf
yeah.
of Wall Street,
Oh, yeah.
and we were saying like, there's a part of you that's like, I hope I'm in there.
Yeah.
I hope my face. I hope my cartoon's in there. You know.
It was very humbling. Be like, oh yeah, like
Yeah, it's like, nope,
I'm
not in there
no,
anymore.
the
I'm
rest
not
of
even on
the rest of the internet caught up.
Yeah,
and-
yeah. There is something to be said though for like the longevity of like. I mean, it really was like the very, very beginning of all this shit. So like, when. So like when new people come and are funnier, it's like, I mean, yeah, you weren't gonna be the funniest people forever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like now I think it's a little different. So like the internet is the place it is. Everybody kind of knows everybody. But at that point, it was like just because you were there longer doesn't mean you're funnier. But
Like
I get you.
I'm like a guy. I'm like. I compared myself to him on KFC Radio. The wrestler Zack Ryder, who like had like a 10, 15-year career in WWE, had one awesome moment at WrestleMania when he climbed a ladder and won the Intercontinental title, and then he lost it the very next day on Raw. Like that's basically my career. Like I'm a.
What is that moment?
I'm a.
Gotta shoot.
There's like a like just random shit.
Well,
like the roast,
the roast is
69, like just little moments.
It
like
wasn't.
that.
It was probably something else, but it's now the roast. The roast
Yeah,
is
I would say
your
like
defining
people
moment.
always talk about
But
the
at
Flying
time you were-
69. People talk about, I mean, the noogie. It's just like little moments here and there. It's like, oh yeah, cool. Like I've done something at this company.
yeah.
But yeah, I'm like a 230 hitter who has a 15-year MLB career. That's what I would say.
But then you also demand equity. 230.
I was a founding member of the team,
The Max and PFT
and I don't
thing-
demand anything. Let's back up on that.
Yeah, demand's not the right word. Insinuate you should definitely have.
No, I don't think I deserve it. I just think it would be nice. I don't think we are. What would Tyler Durden do if Dave didn't discover Barstool Nate? Like I think Barstool's still Barstool without me.
Right.
Like so, no, I don't deserve it. It's just like I don't know.
You're a big part of it.
Buy a $41 million house.
Yeah, I get that. I understand that. I feel like.
But I'm very appreciative. I don't want to make any. I don't want that to be taken like out of context. Obviously, I'm overpaid for what I do, and I'm very appreciative. And I've lived a great life because of what Dave has done for me.
That's a
Thank
smart
you,
man.
Dave.
Thank you, Dave. That's no more Nate week. Hashtag thank you, Dave week. Yeah.
As far as the Max and PFT stuff goes, I mean,
In his right to swing on him? In his right?
it's like no, but that's what I mean. That's why there should be a no touching rule because it's like. No, you're never allowed to like if he slugged him in the face, it would be like holy shit. But in that moment, your team just lost. You're on camera. People are like making fun, busting balls, and someone goes like, oh, that's the worst. Like any sort of that. Somebody, I remember Smitty hugged Eddie on the double doink. He just like hugged him and held him, and I was just like, if that was me, I would have like ripped his face off, just like. I don't even know why he did it. Like he just literally just hugged him and held him, and was kind of like smirking. And I was like, if anybody ever did that to me when I lost a playoff game on a double
I'll say,
doink,
like,
I would fucking murder.
Max and PFT in that world, they have like a different, dynamics where, Max is crazy as we know, and PFT will get him back in some way.
Well, I think a little bit of this. I think that the bottle throw was almost the same thing as Dave. Like the reaction made PFT be like, "Well, I have to do something.
Yeah.
I gotta like defend my honor somewhat here." I don't think he actually cares.
I
but
will
it
say
is like
PFT will get the win because it's
It's
just
PFT. Yeah, I mean, he will, figure
knock
out
me
a
off the
way to
graphics, like
outsmart him or whatever. But in that moment, that's why sports is so fucking. The sports is so it's like in that moment, Max beats PFT because of something completely out of their control. But in that moment, you lose.
He definitely had a moment, Max, in his come down where he was like, "Oh my God."
Yeah, I would imagine.
Noogie, my
You
boss,
little. I mean, it is. So I think no touching. No touching.
I think
Like fucking
when
rest
you
of the
first
episode.
said it, I was like, nah, you gotta be able to touch. But yeah, like I even just think about it, like if like in I don't know if there were other Philly fans there, but like my gut reaction is always to celebrate with
your people,
my
and
people
not,
rather than rub it in. other people.
Yeah.
But I don't.
But even if you want to be like, you lose, like in my face, but you start touching, and it's just like, I don't know, elbows start flying, and like I would be like, get the fuck off of me if anybody was touching me in I mean, this is a regular season game, but in like a playoff moment, oh my.
Yeah, the issue is a touch like that is fine, but it's what that first touch sets up the second touch to be.
Yeah,
Where it could be like
yeah.
a punch
What
or
now?
a push or
yeah,
something.
it's gonna escalate, I mean, it's very funny. You little is.
Like the Matilda speech you started giving.
That's basically it. Yeah, that's basically what he did. So we'll take some calls on all this stuff. It's already 1 o'clock. So if you want to call in, 888-786-6522. That's 888-STOOL22. You can talk about Nate Week. You can talk about the Dante stuff, the rules of engagement for what's it called? Live streams. Also this weekend, you guys were playing, or Pup Punk played at Ocean's Calling, which
Did you go to that, Nate?
I did not.
our boy Mark Roberge and OAR put on the festival. It got rained out last year. This year, raining once again, but they still pulled it off. So Pup Punk, I'll never be not impressed by Pup Punk. It just cracks me up when I see them on stage at like real festivals in front of like with real bands. I mean, that's a real fucking.
That's crazy.
That's a real performance, man. It's,
45
playing
minute
at
set, like,
House of
yeah.
Blues. They play at Irving Plaza. They do a 45-minute set at a festival headlined by John Mayer. It's I mean, these things are stuff that bands would like kill to do, and they're like, yeah, we're a little bit of a joke, but not really. It's kind of a thing.
It must be weird for them where it's like, because particularly now, like they've done a few performances, I think like, you got to start to be feeling yourself a little bit, where you're like, it's not a joke.
No,
Like,
it's,
I think Dave actually always refers to them like fairly, not lovingly, but like, he's like, they're kind of a joke band, but like.
their talent is not.
It's
Right.
got to,
talent's
I feel like
not.
it's got to be coming to a crescendo where it's like, we're not a joke anymore. Stop calling us a joke.
Well, the
band.
only thing I'll say is I do think I remember Bob saying, he was like, we have to rework our set list because all the songs we play, the bands are at this
Jimmy Eat
festival.
World was there.
Yeah, so you can't play Jimmy Eat World songs when you're not Jimmy Eat World and they're performing that night. So it is funny when it's like they have, My Real Girlfriend and Two Christmases and all that shit, but like then they're just gonna be like, let's just do Blink,
Yeah, I mean, if they come out too much like we're a real band, then like the expectation.
Yeah.
We're like, all right, well then you need your own music.
It's like you're not a real band, but you are really
There's
really
people who know them not from Barstool, but from like the music videos on YouTube, or like they get put into like Pop Punk Spotify playlists. So there's people who think they are a band and not like just Barstool.
I mean, also put it this
boys.
way: if they just like went in the studio and made like an EP, they
it'd be
would
awesome.
be, So they all just do it as like a hobby, but they all can sing, they all can write. It's crazy. Let's go to Dom talking about PFT getting tapped. What's up, Dom?
So that PFT thing, he was giving him shit the whole time, the whole stream, saying his team's big and all that. So that's why Max hit him on the head.
PFT was saying my team's bigger than yours,
Yeah, because big plays, like they're
Yeah.
making big plays.
and then it's like you little. I get it. I get it. All's fair in love and war.
That flips me. I didn't realize that had been like a running point. That
Yeah.
flips me. Max is good then.
Yeah.
I don't.
Go
And
ahead, Pat.
PFT called Max fat.
to call Max fat.
Sounds
Sounds about right.
saying we're big, and he just goes, now you're
Yeah.
small. I think that's fair play.
I kind
of
of think
agree.
it's the head
Head
tap.
tap is still the.
You can say it. You can point in his face. You can scream it. You're little. As soon as you start touching me, because it's just like it's what Tommy said. It's like well, now I have to respond some way.
Right.
What's that going to be? Do I
it just a
fucking
punch?
you? Do I hit you in the dick? Do I who knows? Let's go to Nuke. What's up, Nuke?
Hey, what's up? This is Nuke. I was just saying back on what y'all were just talking about Pup Punk and it being a joke. I don't know if you're like, I wouldn't say it's like Weird Al, but it's kind of like Feits being a joke all the time, but also serious. He's good at what he does, just like all y'all do.
I can see that.
What?
What?
It's like, when...
By a joke?
No, you would...
Is everyone going to become a joke?
You're just a walking parody.
What the fuck? I don't know. That's the meanest call we've ever gotten.
No,
what the fuck is that all about?
No, you
Kind of like Feitelberg's existence. He's a joke.
You would be the first to say, you're very self-deprecating. Am I a joke? Great call, Nuke. Great call.
Call anytime, Nuke.
Anytime you want, man.
Do you ever have like people like recognize you and they just kind of laugh a little bit? That happens to me a lot. I'm like, that feels a little insulting.
Oh,
This guy actually out. He actually exists.
I could write like a fucking book, a thesis on people inappropriately and unknowingly being rude in public and not getting it. They're trying to be like nice and talk to me, and they don't realize what they're saying is so mean. Let's go to Ricky Steamboat. What's
I don't care
up?
what people say.
You're
funny.
Yeah, that kind of stuff is just like, Jesus Christ.
Why do people hate you so much?
All the time. I love you. Everybody hates you, but I love you. I'm like, oh, I got one. What's up, Ricky?
Yeah.
Hello, you guys got me?
Yes, sir.
All right, Steamboat here. So considering that Dave took the company back for $1, you don't think that given that he's like missing all this money, he said that the company was losing money. Like I think he said $12 million a year.
Yeah.
So is that money all coming out of Dave's pocket now that he owns the company for everyone's salaries and everything, or like? How does this look like forward for Barstool?
No, that's why we did the layoffs.
So now everything's fine because of the layoffs.
Yeah.
Lost some good ones.
Okay.
It like even, I don't know if it like down to the penny evened out that we are now earning as much as we cost. But like Dave, I think said like it got us in the right ballpark. Like on a good year, we'll probably make some money. On a bad year, it's like, right around break even. But the idea was like trim the fat. We lost a couple good ones, and then get back to basics. And I mean, how many times did Dave say throughout this? He's like, and I know there's going to be growing pains. There's going to be times where we say like, fuck, we fired XYZ, and now none of this is working, and none of that happened. I can't think. And again, not to say that we didn't lose good people because there were, but when you fire a third of the people and the company just is the same exact thing.
Yeah.
I think it kind of proves the point of how bloated things kind of got. So as long as everybody keeps, making the current money they're making, and hopefully sales and content can make more, everything theoretically should be good. Otherwise, that motherfucker's gonna have to pay for all this shit. He's got a $42 million house. Also, we got to give a shout out to the girls who gave us like the first month worth of content. There's I guess a Mean Girls relaunch going on. They put out an Instagram post where has the date of 10/16/23 season 2.
6 days after my birthday.
Where they
a little belated gift for Nate.
I think that is the wackiest fucking picture I've ever seen.
I'm not going to comment. I will say I did Power Rankings on Friday. It sucked not having them around.
You did what?
When they were involved, everything revolved around them for better or for worse. It sucked doing power rankings without.
Your power rankings, the tone of them has changed a lot.
I like everybody now.
No, I'm saying that in a good way.
Yeah, people are like, oh, you're supposed to rip these people apart. I'm like, everybody's like working hard and getting along.
No,
It's
but
like,
that is like it's also like the essence of this show is like sometimes I got to be like a
I can't.
dick,
I
like,
think you've done it
force
very well so far, where you get the bits without being like, I hope this person dies.
Yeah,
Like,
I think you're making good jokes, and I think they used to come from a different place. I think they're funny now, and they're largely very nice.
BetterHelp and you're 10.
And Stacker2.
Stacker2, and just, I mean, no, I think everything around here is like as happy and good as it's been in quite a while, and people are like grinding, and just like Dave's back in the mix and makes everything interesting again. I just feel like it's just so different than it was even like 4 months ago.
Yeah, it's certainly been a better place to work, and I think it's reflected in the power rankings.
Do you think? I think once Dave is in this house, I don't know how involved Dave will continue to be once.
No, so he gets
Dream Mansion.
he definitely gets bored, and he loves being in the mix so much.
I think he likes to be able to just come back in when he wants to, and he'll always be able to do that. But I think like he was involved in everything for the last month or so.
It's been awesome.
I feel like once he's on his Nantucket like literal island, he'll be like.
But no amount of money makes him as happy as like fucking with Rico or taking a shot at Smitty.
That is
true. He'll wake up and the stock market will be closed that day, and he'll just like go to Smitty's Twitter and just quote tweet and be mean, and like that makes him happy.
I think the
that is true.
And obviously they're not super comparable professions, but like when athletes leave, they're like, if I could get two things back, it's the locker room camaraderie and the roar of the crowd. And I think Dave will. I don't think Dave will ever go without those two.
Never.
I remember him being like, all I need is $10 million and I'll be gone. And I was like, you will not, dude. You love to do this shit. And he was like, no, it's just about the money. And I was like, no, it's not, dude. No, it's not.
He was close because the last 3 years beat him down so much with like just the pen and the hit pieces.
Even still, with
all that.
I just think he loves a good pizza review gone wild.
Yeah.
He loves a dragon pizza asshole to dunk on. He loves a hit piece that doesn't work. All that sort of shit.
But I feel like he's back in like prime Dave mindset. He's just not.
I wonder
beaten down person anymore.
I think this was he was going to do this and like basically retire.
Kirk quote tweeted the house. He's like, he'll be sleeping on the floor of the office for Survivor next week.
I know.
Like he's worth $500 bazillion,
really
and he'll be sleeping with the rats.
But I'm just saying, I wonder if physically buying and doing the thing that was going to be your retirement. It's hard.
I don't know. I mean, he knew this was coming. Like this didn't come together in like the last week, right?
The house.
Yeah.
I would imagine. I'd imagine it's been in the process for a while. I don't know.
That's what I mean. I'm saying like he originally was going to buy that house to be like, I'm done, and then all of a sudden you have to buy the company back and you get back into things, but then now you have the house,
I think he said recently on, I don't remember what show, but he was like another year or so maybe of being like in this, making sure it's shipped, and then more of like, I mean, obviously he's never going to be like the leading social media.
Like you just never know. He didn't think he was gonna buy it back until it just like fell into his lap, and that process took 2 weeks.
Right.
Like you just never know. Like he could move back to New York tomorrow.
Let's go to Gunner.
I mean, Nantucket's like an hour and a half from here. Like,
just take the helicopter.
Yeah. I think it's. I would be surprised. I know he says like a year. I'd be surprised if Dave's gone in a year.
Gunner, what do you got?
Hey guys, just calling in. I was wanting to know what you guys think about the fact that like Business Insider and the Post and all of these places that have just shit on Dave over the past few years then take the time out of their day to get the clicks from writing up that he's now the owner of a $42 million mansion in Nantucket, and have to slip in that he's been accused of sexual assault like at the tail end of it.
Well,
I feel like the Post does not take shots at Dave. They just write about everything Dave does.
I will say, I feel like
New York Post.
when people write about you buying a house is when you are like fully entrenched in the tabloids, or like you are on their fucking number one. It's like Kardashians, Portnoy, like most. I would say, even within like celebrity world, 99% of people buy a house. It's not like news, buying, every time Dave makes a move, it's.
I think
it's
the
just
most expensive house in the history of Massachusetts.
Yeah, but they did it with the Miami house. They do it with the Montauk house.
Yeah.
It's always like.
I think it's just like, I'm surprised people are surprised by it. He's a celebrity.
I mean, the New York Post did a whole thing when Dave made a $10,000 bet on the Notre Dame quarterback to win the Heisman. Like, they did an entire thing. They write about every single thing he does.
Yeah, that's also like, oh, you just don't know what Dave does.
Right.
Like, that's a fucking casual. That was a 2013 bet. You know what I mean? Like, that's not even a big deal in our world. Speaking of betting and sports, I mean, the Jets just got absolutely boned last night, and I don't want to.
No, credit to the show. An hour and 10 minutes without mentioning Taylor.
Yeah. Hey, you got your wish, guys. Please stop talking about it. There you go. We didn't talk.
I think everybody's on the same page now that there's some sort of NFL Taylor Swift weird.
Oh, I disagree with
There
that.
has to be. Come on.
No way.
No.
And you think Travis Kelce just like a pawn in the game?
Yes. Duh. Yes.
No. Maybe I'm naive. Maybe I believe in love. Maybe I love love too much.
I think that I definitely think they're seeing each other. Like all the clips of her being like, oh my God, look at him, and like look, like being cutesy is like she's into him. But I think she, for whatever reason, it materialized 2 weeks ago, and then the game last night was in New York. I think it's gonna be over now.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of fabrication going on. They might like each other, but I think just they're two huge machines, the Taylor machine and the NFL, and they got in a room and they were like, all right, let's.
You really believe that?
You really think they were like, you're going to date Travis Kelce?
No, I think that something there could have been organic, but then the machines took over.
Well, I mean,
the NFL changing their bios to everything about her. There's something.
But it's just the same thing as
I
want to give an update. The NFL saw the backlash from that, and they changed the bio back, so there's no more to it.
I was going to say, they probably got more, on week 2, I think they got more negative press than good press.
Yeah. I mean, that's like what happens with anything where you're like, oh, never mind, like this is working. Okay, people are sick of it.
Totally.
You change it. Like, it's the same thing with talking about Taylor, like, people like it, so you do it till you get attention. I think everything that's happening is like,
I do think that they were like into each other, and then like part of it is, of course, like, if we post this or do that, like, it'll be good for our brands because they do that. Yes. But I don't think that was ever, like, that was not
the plan
number
from the
one
get-go,
thing.
Yeah.
Not from the get-go, but I think it became.
I don't know. I bet it dies down a lot after this week.
Yeah, I don't think it'll be. If she's not there, it'll just be like.
The NBC producers went all in with that. I think I saw Taylor Swift had more cut-ins than Travis Kelce had targets. Like, it wasn't even close.
Yeah, I mean, they're.
But that's like. Every show tries to give their audience what they want. Like
that's
what
I'd do the same thing if I was them.
I don't think that's like a deal.
Stamp of approval.
Like I fell asleep at halftime, but like I would not. There's no chance I'd watch that game if Taylor wasn't there. No chance.
You were just waiting for shots of her.
It's just like it became an experience.
Yeah,
I didn't really care about shots of her, but like.
How about the high noon in the other girl's hand?
I didn't see that.
So close.
Yeah, there's a high noon in a girl's hand, like 2 people down. Dave was screaming at the TV, like, pass it 2 doors down, pass it 2 doors down.
He had a big a red cup, and I put on social media that I said on Instagram, I said I had a friend who works at MetLife, and I told him to put a red pirate water in her suite, and she's drinking it. And a couple of my friends thought it was real. I was like, geez,
I mean,
I did Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift has. Did you think it was real?
What is real?
Why would you lie about that?
To fucking make the world think that Taylor Swift's drinking pirate water. That's why.
I was like, all right,
that's hilarious.
I don't know. Fuck me.
I mean,
8 week.
Taylor Swift has definitely drank in a high noon, I would say.
Oh,
As drinking one?
Yeah.
Did I phrase that wrong?
No, I'd say you're right.
No shit.
But as far as, I mean,
He wanted it in her hand. He wanted the screenshot.
There was some missed calls throughout the game for sure, but that hold was just one of the most egregious things I've ever seen in my life. I mean, the fact that the broadcast never even like went back and looked at it, circled it, talked about it. It's like, I don't think that there's like a...
Wait, are you talking about the missed holding on the Chiefs or the holding they called on the Chiefs?
Both, but I meant the missed holding on the Chiefs.
Got it.
The 3rd and 22.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's like a huge conspiracy theory, but I do think it's like, whether you're a broadcaster or a ref or whatever, you're just like fixated on Patrick Mahomes. Like they were just looking at what Patrick Mahomes was doing and not looking at a guy being like, help me, I can't move my fucking arms. Like you're holding on to me for like 10 minutes.
On the head
yeah, I mean, and like, yes, the face mask, basically what kickstarted the Jets was a questionable call. But it's
just a coincidence. 3rd and 22 with Taylor Swift in the building.
There we go, man.
Just a coincidence.
the guy. You want the laptop?
You know, just turn it around.
What's happening?
Nick just said turn it around.
Oh. What's the deal with your boy Rodney Harrison?
Oh, that was crazy.
Bro,
See this clip?
Can we get? I tweeted it, so if you go to my my Twitter feed, you'll see it. Dude either lost money or has a vendetta against Zach Wilson. It was one of the most unprofessional things I've ever seen.
Really?
It was also crazy to do it after his objectively best game.
Best performance
Like just a
of all
really
time.
good game.
So wait, for context, pre-game, Rodney Harrison was like, we were just watching Zach Wilson 7-on-7s, and he was missing receivers in practice. So like, watch out, this guy's gonna suck. And I remember being like, okay. And then
watch it on your phone.
And then after he's talking to some dude on the Chiefs, and he's like, you know, Zach is a professional, and like we knew he was gonna be like play a hard game, and he's like, wait, what? You knew Zach Wilson was gonna be like a hard game, like a big challenge?
I'll
He's like,
devil's advocate this. We always say we want these guys to be real. We want these guys to be real. And he was like, no, he's statistically, by every metric, the worst quarterback in the
I do agree with
Stop
that.
saying that he's good.
But he went back to it like 3 times.
He was trying to
and-
goad it out of him, which
Yeah,
you can look at the
some dude on the Chiefs. I can't remember who it was. I think
Chris
it was
Jones.
Chris Jones.
Yeah,
He said what?
No, he was trying to goad it out. Chris
Jones
say
was
that
like,
he's bad,
he was
say
like,
that
no,
he's
Zach
bad.
Wilson.
But like
you know,
the
he's
Chiefs
improving
also
on
had
the
like
tape.
the Chiefs leading up to this had, like he might have been reacting to the fact that like that's not what you guys said yesterday. Like the Chiefs were, I forget, one of the cornerbacks of the Chiefs was asked this week, like, what do you see when you watch Jets game tape? And he like laughed and went, it's a team that wants to run the ball. And like it was, he might have been like, that's not what you guys said. Again, I haven't seen the clip, so I don't know.
No,
but
he
like
didn't say that, but-
it was very like, it was just, I was like, you're gonna make people like Zach Wilson. Like
Yeah.
I actually genuinely believe that. I mean, I've railed on this guy more than anybody, and I was like,
Are you a believer
hold
now?
on.
He played
Well, he
really
was-
awesome.
The biggest winner of the game last night was Zach
Wilson.
He played
that, the Rodney Harrison thing, and the clip of him being like, "We lost the game. It's my fault, bro." I was like, "Oh my God!" He has this little sliver. The door is open like this big. It's just the faintest glimmer of hope. But that clip and Rodney Harrison and just playing out of his mind, he has like one last chance.
Did he take yesterday's his first game without the bandana? Because that could be something.
Ooh.
I saw him put the helmet on. I was like, oh, he's not wearing his bandana.
Also, Aaron Rodgers in the building, like probably, you know,
Or
helps him a
headband,
little
whatever
bit.
it is.
I think next week, Jets are. I feel like they're going to Denver, where it's the Nathaniel Hackett revenge game after all the shit Sean Payton talked about him this offseason. Zach Wilson, momentum. Jets, mortal locket. Jets. I think that's like a look.
You think
There's something
Aaron-
about this Jets team still that like there's something going. Maybe
There's
just
part
because
of
I
this
watched Hard Knocks.
zeitgeist.
But like
Yeah, no,
there's
but there
something
is.
going on right now.
But
with this
whether
Jets
it's the injury, Taylor Swift shit, like they're like either like tangentially associated to it or like the storyline, they're just there.
They've had
every
two
week.
awesome like primetime games that everyone saw.
Last night, 17-0. I was like,
I tweeted, I was like, I love watching historic blowouts. And
I
then
thought we were gonna get one.
from that tweet, it was I don't
That
think
safety.
I don't think the Chiefs scored another point until however they won. But
The fact that Eric Bieniemy left the Chiefs, they stink now, came to Washington, and Sam Howell is like this awesome quarterback. I think he
I
was.
wouldn't quite say the Chiefs stink now.
They stink. No, they stink. Patrick Mahomes is completing like 50% of his passes.
I genuinely think that Patrick Mahomes, that first interception, I think he was like, I'm fucking around. It's the Jets.
Yeah.
Like he kind of like lobbed it and right away was like, that was my bad. Like I'm being an idiot.
Oh, like, can I see if I can actually do this?
Yeah, I think he was just like, it's the Jets. Who cares? And I think like they're better than that. But I mean, Zach, if you're his agent, his publicist, his team, like you got to take this and run with it. You have to play good, obviously, if you just go back to sucking, which unfortunately. I just don't think it's like repeatable, but I don't know. Who knows?
I just want to
Some
point
of those
out.
passes were just like out of this fucking
So
world.
you said no headband for Zach Wilson, right?
Yeah.
You think Aaron Rodgers like ripped it off him the way that Dave just ripped Tommy's top hat at the Barstool Award show?
I would have thought that, but like he's been around it so long. Like he's been around it all preseason.
Just such a guy. Every time it makes me laugh every time. And the promo, the Only Stands pageant video. Have you guys watched that yet?
I haven't got a chance to watch it.
Meek Phil absolutely steals the show.
I mean, if there was any doubt that was going to happen.
Have you watched a lot of Hunter Hunter?
I shouldn't say that because I think Frank is usually like considered to be going to be like the.
He rapped. It was good.
And I think Meek and Meek's Freaks should be very proud of the Only Stands pageant.
I thought it was a very good show. You could check it out on our YouTube channel, Only Stands Pageant.
Attaboy.
Yep. Just promote that with Glenny Balls over there.
Rose Pro.
And the Minahan. The Minahan clip.
Bro, the Minahan, I didn't know what was going on.
I think I watched it on a plane. I think I was on a plane.
I thought he had Tourette's.
I didn't know.
You know what it is?
It's a shock collar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought he just had a disability.
No, it's a shock collar.
I thought it was a guy who had Tourette's, and every time he lied, he like ticked or something. It was just Kirk zapping.
Well, how were they deciding when to shock him?
Kirk just when he wanted to.
Be funny.
Oh, I thought it was like he was
Kirk's
hooked up to something that would shock him when he was lying.
No, you see, he has a thing. He was controlling it. I think it was just at Kirk's discretion.
Bro, that is
What the
crazy.
Crazy.
That's I sit here now and I'm like, I would never do that. I would do that in a heartbeat.
Totally.
Like,
those guys, that dude loved it.
Yeah,
That guy's
yeah.
probably gonna get like tattoos of the burn mark.
Yeah.
Forever remember when podcast Jesus. Oh, here it is.
There
Kirk's last.
He lied.
Yes. That thing in his left hand.
I've never heard Kirk laugh like that.
Ever. Never heard anybody laugh like that. That noise is.
Yeah. Kirk's like the one who's got Tourette's.
Yeah.
Move it up or down? Up or down? Up! You guys want it down? You said I can't hear you. Gus, what do you think?
I mean, I
Wow.
Oh, okay.
guess splitting responsibilities.
He's climbing in Steve points, I must say.
It's like whatever it takes.
But all kidding aside, all bullshitting aside, to be clear, because I was worried about it for a couple of weeks, but to be clear, like no one in your family said to you, what was your stupid aunt's name?
Auntie Sunshine?
What's her? Okay, I know your aunt didn't say this. Nobody in your family said to you, like, had this talk with you or something. Your family's been good all along.
So far, yeah.
See, I thought he was like when his heart rate reached some level, he deemed lying.
I thought yes.
It was just for fun.
Just
it's just
gotcha.
Just deemed whenever I feel it necessary, you get
I
shocked.
feel good after watching
I think you can still watch
I mean,
that on
it
pay-per-view.
is undeniably hysterical.
I mean,
like it is.
if that's not just like the new thing he does every show, just like maybe just like a entirely new franchise, like just Kirk electrocuting the freaks in his cult. Be amazing. I'd watch that all day
And it's
long.
a good because I feel like Jack Coleman is like probably more the technical side down. Where like, I don't know if he's like as much of a sideshow, but this guy the perfect sideshow.
I mean, clearly. So I think you can still see that on pay-per-view at barstool.tv/ppv. Smoke Show premieres in a couple weeks.
Oh, what's
On
that?
Nate's birthday.
Oh, wow. October 10th?
10th.
Wow.
Yeah.
October 10th.
Hashtag
And
that week.
then we'll also start filming Surviving Barstool next week.
Sunday.
Sunday, that's right. Sunday.
Oh, and Real Survivor stinks.
Saw you guys yelling about that. You guys are not happy, huh?
No, we're stuck.
You guys sound like
Quite literally,
fucking-
like all kidding aside, the lips have ruined it.
I was gonna say, you guys sound like full-blown.
You sound like Dante
2A.
on Facebook.
No, like, it's so brutal.
Every time I watch you guys, you're like tiptoeing around it, and then you're like, it's a bunch of blue-haired freaks. Like, there it is. There it is.
Just is. There's this one guy who was sobbing in the first 5 minutes, and then he had to climb 3 rungs of a ladder.
How can you climb a ladder?
He laid on the ground. He could not climb.
He had a panic
3.
Physically couldn't climb.
couldn't. It was like I think it was mental.
How do you sign up for Survivor and be like, I might have.
And he got the second before that cry. I've been watching until I was 11 years old. I'm on here. He didn't think in his training maybe climb a ladder.
Good question.
Physically unable?
I honestly think it was
No,
more
no. It was
I don't know.
short. It was just 3 rungs. He couldn't do it.
I mean, he's a fatso. I think he couldn't at first do it, and then he was like getting like in his head, and then he had a panic attack.
Ask me why he didn't get voted off.
Why didn't you get voted off?
Because a woman quit because she wanted to go vape. And that sounds like something
she
out
wanted
of a
to eat.
sketch that you would do on Out of Order.
She's getting cyber, but she's like she deserves to get cyber.
Yeah.
She's like, oh, people are being so mean to me. Good. They should be more mean.
Just wanted to
You know how
vape.
many people apply to Survivor
They
and
say
you're
like you're not allowed to have a vape on the set.
Of course not.
You're not allowed. To. Survivor.
It's Survivor.
Right, but that's
She was like, I just want to eat. There's this. It's a bunch of fucking hippies.
It's as bad of a cast as
There's an astrology alliance. Oh, we're all Libras. We're all Libras. Cast a few Republicans. Would that kill you, CBS?
I'll tell you, honestly, come see surviving Barstool of white guys.
Yeah, literally.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow.
And Shay.
And Shay.
Well, the debate 4 o'clock.